Cold at the touch, dead in the eyes, no signs of life no more. I put your love under the knife. Leave me to die here all alone. No signs of life no more, no. A crying dove may never fly. Black and white. Yeah. Black and white. Oh, 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 oh. Just black and white. No more. Black and white, just let me go. It's only right. For all I know, it's only matter. It's calico, it's black and white. White, white, white. Just let me go. It's only right. For all I know, it's only matter. It's calico, it's black and white. White, white, white. Black and white. Yeah. Black and white. Oh, 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 oh. Just black and white. Black and white.
It's a double kill for Jim.
Oh my God, Jim!
Looking pretty good. It's gonna be a triple kill. Jim comes on fire. Jim comes on fire.
Right angle, but couldn't land the shot. The dart goes the two-piece! Oh, that's a He's gonna be able to take out. Oh my God! Oh no! He was down to 1 second on the clock.
Já pegou bala na cara do Master. O Almairinho vai tentando fazer o primeiro. Da estátua vai tentar o tiro porrada e bomba! Vem! Clutch muito difícil de vencer, mas...
Square on the bottom. everybody that you hit. He no-scoped Ramallo right there. He no-scoped.
Termina eliminando a Jackie, igual queda solamente positivo por parte de repente, sigue la primera baja que se da cuenta que el otro jugador ¡se le fue a ¡lo dejó mal! ¡Lo dejó mal!
All right, everybody, welcome back. I'm sorry about the late start, guys. I had some technical difficulties getting the new season assets available to you guys, so I do apologize deeply for that, but thank you all for joining us. I am Day, and obviously I am here with the fantastic, wonderful, amazingly talented Beef Mommy.
Wow, what an intro. Thank you so much. But you know what? You are an amazing caster yourself, and I've always just enjoyed casting with you. As you guys already know, we are finally there at the last stretch at who is going to be qualifying for this Thursday's finals. So you know what, Day? It's going to be very good today. So, I mean, apart from all the things that we've seen here so far, unfortunately, one team won't be able to play. So we're only going to be having 3 matches for today. So Nyla is not going to be able to play. So Honeybees is going to have that automatic win.
Yeah, they definitely will, and you know it's unfortunate because we always love to see honeybees play, or the honey beefs.
Honeybees.
The honey beefs. But we do have our first match available for you guys, which is going to be NYX versus Carnage. And while NYX have been undefeated, I gotta say Carnage is one of those teams that I don't know. I feel like if we have an A game from Carnage and we have a B game from NYX, we could potentially see at least a game 3. It's hard to say. Carnage have been getting better and better, but NYX. Great. As we hop over to our map picks for today, we are going to have Standoff on Hardpoint to start things off. We'll be looking at Search and Destroy Raid for game 2, and if we do make it to that game 3, we'll have a Hackney Yard Domination. The Kinetic Armor and Annihilator are banned, and Summit was banned by Carnage. I don't think there's any real shock there. Obviously, NYX have been great on that map. And NYX have opted to ban Crossfire.
Very smart choices from both of these teams. Carnage knows very well that NYX is playground, so they are going to be heading off over here in Point. Both of these teams haven't really played Hardpoint in this particular map yet, so it's interesting to see how we are going to be seeing it, but hopefully we see Carnage really pull. They had such an amazing run. Carnage really beat out Op34 2 points in Hardpoint, almost losing that, and unfortunately for them, they did lose that Search and Destroy, really just getting out the points, but they did win Domination and Crossfire in a very dominating fashion with 150 and 107, so we're definitely seeing a very different Carnage Girls over here.
Yeah, we definitely are, and as you guys could see, we had to get a little bit of a reset on the lobby, so we'll get you guys into it shortly. I'll go ahead and leave the map picks and bans up here, guys, just momentarily. We've already got the game loading back up. Hopefully we'll get into it and be all set to go this time. I definitely think for this matchup, your biggest players we've got to be watching out for. You know, we're looking at Brixta, aka Bragaboo, Lydia, and Aerith, who's going to be Agaboo. And then for the side of Carnage, it has largely been Vanish, Ginebra, and Artemisa. So we'll see how they perform here today. But it does look like we've got everybody in. Guys, go ahead and get your rocking and rolling into it.
And here we go, finally a very fresh start off of Hardpoint right now. Standoff is the name of the game. A very interesting push. Now we see here, it's going to be a very powerful push going in from Lydia. It's already getting a lot of points already for her. I mean, she's just gonna be stepping into the Hardpoint, but it seems like she has some connectivity issues, so that's not really going to be that much of a surprise just because she's all the way in the EU. So again, she has very powerful teammates here that can actually come and pull through and maybe even become like a 4-man. So not really going to be that scared for them, but you can already see here 14 and 6. That's not going to be a lot of points from both of these teams. Very heavily contested, like we already know in P1 that's going to be.
Yeah, and Chell's actually rocking the Type 25. Not something we've seen in the meta a lot as of late, but Good fire range, or good fire rate weapon for a AR. Has a pretty quick kill time in the close range. Almost more of like a submachine gun kill range than an actual AR, but we do have a pretty big push coming through. There's some kills coming through for the side of Carnage. As you can see, Ginebra is up top, coming down the stairs looking for that kill on back, but it is going to be Nagaboo, aka Nicole, looking to push up with the ARM. Can't quite get into kill range, and is going to drop. And now Aerith rotating on over into the house, somehow turns on Venus there. What an absolute champion.
There's only one person in that Hardpoint. That was just so unfortunate. Artemisa is going to be that OBJ, but fortunately for them, there were so many people that from their team that actually went in for the rotation, and that's a good thing that they're going to be spawning here in Hay. So a very good push, and the spawns are going to be in their favor, but then the defense is just going to be a little bit too strong right now. We can see here NYX with a very solid hold, but the points aren't as far as I thought it would be, but the rotation needs to come through, and we already see here Chagaboo is going to be here with Liliax as well, going in for that early rotation.
I feel like I'm going to cast her cursor pretty hard, but Aerith's on a 7 streak right now, so we're going to go ahead and keep seeing if the nuke is possible. As you mentioned, it is not as big of a blowout game as we've seen NYX through a couple times, as I mentioned. Going to cast the curse Aerith a little bit there. She does die pushing on through mid, but definitely doing great. Leading the lobby in kills right now at 12. Lydia is the second with 10. And we've got nobody in double digits for the side of Carnage yet.
Just like that, we can see here, they already got a hold of the Hardpoint, so that's going to be very impressive for them, knowing very well that they kind of lost their fights going in through mid, but it's a good thing. But how long they can actually hold is going to be that question. Two people already from both teams already occupying the hard. Now we can see here, finally Carnage is actually going to win a lot of the gunfights, but then one more person going in there. Finally, big kills. Lydiax, that is going to be so impressive for her. She's been so formidable in P3. She's been like loose, stuck to a piece of paper, and they can't really just eliminate her. And right now, again, a very interesting push coming into the side of Carnage. They need to go into P4. You already know, Money Hill off the bat. The bakery will definitely be cooking some bread if we see Carnage getting all the points. 42 and 88, that's still not very bad, but Lydiax with that double kill is definitely going to be very hard for them, and the defense need to be strong.
Yeah, I do think we're going to go ahead and hop into the voice comms with NYX. They are leading with 50 plus points right now. So we'll hop into that, get you guys some of that action, and we'll get back to the game.
Franco's on inside.
Oh, one barn, that's machine dude.
Dead.
I'll play with
It should be
Traitor.
Yeah.
Gotcha, oh my god. Try. It's running.
Right behind you.
Gas.
Oh
Where?
Now you should
Gas.
Okay.
Oh, one help. One.
Granny.
Granny.
Two court.
I hold this.
Two court done.
Don't we win? Oh,
Alright guys, and as you can hear, the comms are incredibly calm for the side of NYX. They have basically no fear, and rightfully so. Again, they have been undefeated all season long. Started off looking like a pretty close match, but it did very quickly head back over into NYX's favor. They're now leading about 100 points and have control of P1. It's looking like it's probably going to be over here.
Yeah, it's gonna be over real soon. 5 seconds left for them to actually go and complete this with no contest whatsoever to be even close enough. And it all fell going into Bakery. And yes, the rotation was really good for Carnage going into P4, but unfortunately for them, they weren't able to defend it really well as the score streaks and the operator skills actually went out already. It's that one sentry gun from NYX and the cluster strike with a denial to go in. And a very strong start for NYX, nonetheless, showing everyone who's queen.
Yeah, definitely a team of absolute champions looking to even extend their spot in first place even more than they already are. And this is looking like it's going to be the team that has to be everybody's favorites going into finals on Thursday, right? So definitely a huge performance out of them. Brixta actually did struggle quite a bit. We did mention a little bit earlier, obviously they are European players, so perhaps struggling with a little bit of a connection issue, but that hadn't really seemed to affect her that much leading up till today, so sometimes you have a bad game, it happens, but the team still comes through with a incredible 108-point victory there. And heading into the Search and Destroy, we know this team is very, it's very common to see them all snipe. So it will be interesting to see if that's the case. Artemisa has been a good sniper for the side of Carnage. Great search player for the side of Carnage. So maybe they have an opportunity there to turn things around. But NYX with a absolutely uncontested victory there.
Uncontested and without a doubt the best that we have here so far. But in terms of Carnage, though, I feel like Hardpoint was supposed to be the game mode that they would actually go and shine, but then it's obvious that they struggled there, especially going into that rotation into P4. Yes, they went there early, but then the individual gun skills that we saw sort of lack on their end. But here we go. I'm pretty scared for Carnage just because this 34, and Op 34 is a very talented S&D team, without a doubt. But if you drop against Op 34 and now you're going top team, which is NYX in S&D, that is going to be very troublesome for you. They are not going to give you any chances to even win at least one round, and they're known for actually just taking it at the very maximum at least 3 rounds. No one has taken 4, no one has taken it to around 11, so it's NYX's playground, and we are going into raid. Both of these teams have played raid, yes, but they went up against Nyla. Carnage went up against Nyla, and we already know that Nyla kind of struggled there. So NYX kind of has this in the bag unless Carnage pulls through some sort of miracle.
Yeah, we are just waiting on a couple players to get readied up, guys and girls, and we'll get you into the action as soon as we can. Obviously, this is going to be an exciting search and destroy between these two teams. Always love to see the sniping talent that NYX brings to the table. But again, Carnage have been a very strong team as well. I feel like we've seen them grow a lot since the beginning of this event. So, Pichu Hot, Artemisa, Vanish, Ginebra, Venus, very strong team in its own right. And you know, even if they do end up losing here to NYX, I don't think you take that loss too heavily as a team because, again, NYX is just a roster that is absolutely stacked with talent.
Yeah, and I'm actually if they're going to be bringing out that 5-woman sniper yet again, because the last time they played here in raid, it was against Zygnus, and that's when we saw absolute perfection in terms of the snipes, and every single one of them just brought out the sniper. So for now, though, let's see what is gonna happen right now. But it just seems to be like a lot of these girls really just want to play here for fun, but Carnage is definitely not gonna make that happen for them. They really want to stop them. But here we go, HG40 though for Nagabu, which is going to be a very interesting choice. Bragabu already with a very opening snipe there, very nice, just gets rid of Trovo.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple big picks coming through for both of these teams, actually. And Vanish able to pick up another onto Nagabu. Picks up another onto Lydia while Artemisa finds Chagabu. Now it's Aerith left alone in a 1 versus 3. This is a big opportunity for Carnage here.
Very big opportunity that they should not drop. It's only going to be a 2v1 situation, but we already know that Aerith is very capable of clutching that up. So very good start for them to go and rotate into Alpha, knowing very well that Aerith is going to be in that B side, but they need to watch their backs. As you can see, the rotation already coming through here from Aerith. She changes her mind though, tries to see if actually she can go inside gallery, and no one's gonna be there. So I don't know the reluctance here. I don't know why they don't just push into A. It's just gonna give her a lot of time to go in, maybe even for the backstab, and just like that, she's gonna be in the staircase, and this is going to be very bloody indeed.
That does pick up 1 kill there, and I gotta say, I actually love this HG40 skin. It is oddly hilarious. It's so satisfying.
Definitely. I mean, I wish I could actually go and get that for myself, but hopefully after this competition, I get to have that. But here we go. We don't know why Artemisa actually let this happen, and you are going to be going up against a sniper with an AK-116. That is not going to be the gun that you'd want to engagement with, and especially knowing that it's going to be Agabu left with the sniper. Finally gets the bomb going down with 12 seconds. Oh, there you go. The bomb is going to be planted with a hit marker as well. It's still very doable for Artemisa to go and clutch this up. She needs to apply that pressure, and that's what she's doing right now. But one misstep, and that's what you get from a player like Aerith, clutching up that 1v3 situation. And we already said it earlier on in this round that she is definitely the player to do that.
Oh, absolutely, and comes through with a big win for the team there. I mean, that was such an opportunity for Carnage. All they had to do is stick together. The 1-for-1 trade in that 3v1 is infinitely better for you than any other scenario, right? I mean, sure, you could die, but if your teammate's there to pick up the kill, boom, you're up 1-0 over NYX, and you're in a good spot. But Aerith comes through with a huge clutch. Pichu Hot opens it with the first blood, almost able to find 2, but it is going to be Brixta picking that one up. 2 kills on the board for her. Might pick up Vanish pushing up on the stairs. Gonna find that shot as well. And what was looking good for Carnage has so quickly fallen apart.
And always the case when you're going up against NYX. It's like some teams have a really good start, but if you give one opportunity, misses the shot. Bragaboo almost getting that Brixta, just missing the shot by just an inch. And you know what? For Carnage, they did drop the ball from that first round, knowing very well that there was some sort of reluctance for them to go and plant in Alpha. I'm not even sure why. They had the bodies to actually go and check Alpha, and that just basically gave the round to NYX. So Bragaboo already with 3 kills already to her name. They need to do one more. Agaboo, though, big kill with the shorty, gets rid of Venus, bringing it down to a V2 situation.
Yeah, we might see an opportunity where Jadebra's able to find a couple kills here. She does have a Holger in hand, and she's been one of the better players, but boom, pushes right up into the barrel stuff of Nagaboo, and that's going to be another round loss for Carnage. And again, there have been so many good opportunities for Carnage. Pichu Hot came out with a first blood in the first, 5 seconds of that game, and they just couldn't find any ground with it. And again, they do have possibly one of the toughest opponents well, I guess a lot of COD Mobile in general to play against, which is a bit rough, but definitely have seen a lot of growth from Carnage, and no matter what happens here, definitely got to say I'm proud of this team.
Absolutely, and a very great response. Venus gets the trade, gets another one, gets rid of 2 players already from NYX, and we keep seeing this, right? They always have the advantage, but then for some reason they just drop the ball at mid-game. So, very interesting pick. It's always Carnage that actually gets that first blood, but for today, NYX did, but with a very big 2-piece from Venus, so that's going to be very important. But then there you go, Nagaboo, but then never with the trade. Again, Nagaboo with a double piece, really just evening things out at 2v2. The bomb is going to be going down, though. Really supplies that pressure from NYX.
Last man standing. Finish it. Bomb defused.
Oh,
I was muted. I'm so sorry there.
Yeah, it's okay.
Definitely
fine.
a rough situation there. Jadebra finds Aerith and just doesn't know that that the bomb is being defused. Goes to reload, and another round goes over to the side of NYX. And that was another round that was super winnable. That was a super possible clutch, but I also understand the whole, probably didn't expect them to just rush defuse like that. Pichu comes through with another first blood, and hopefully this will be a big opportunity where we can see this game last a little bit longer. Aerith and Chels each coming through with a kill of their own as well.
It's like once they actually go find, and when Carnage finds bodies, they don't know what to do with that situation. It's like they just charge in there without even thinking that, okay, we are going to be at an advantage, and let's just reposition themselves, and here we go. It's Agaboo right now versus Vanish. Now, this is going to be very interesting, because out of all the girls in Carnage, Vanish is going to be that one girl that can actually go and clutch this up. So she's just going to be chilling right now with the bomb, knowing very well that the sniper is going to be absolutely formidable. So she goes in there for the aggression, though. Doesn't really want to go and plant the bomb. Spots Aerith, but then she just goes out of time, and that is going to be very good for Aerith, and she knows very well that Alpha might be the name of the game. But Vanish, yet again, wants to have this engagement. I think this ego challenge that we have from Vanish, he wants to win this.
I mean, it's a big opportunity to prove yourself, right? Aerith was able to clutch up the 3v1 earlier. Might not be able to clutch this one up, but Shorty in hand, can't sleep on it. 4-0 lead for the side of NYX, who are looking to close this series out 2-0 very, very fast.
That is what you pay for. I mean, Vanish had all of the opportunity to go and plant an alpha, maybe even reposition, but she wanted to engage. She really wanted to tail Aerith, but unfortunately for her, she's just too aware with a shorty or with a sniper in hand. You definitely can deliver, and I think out of all the players, Aerith is that one person that can go and clutch everything up, already having 2 already to the game. with 4. Oh, let's take a look at the kills that they have right now. We see Agbo with 7 already. Lydia has 0, but they're still up so much. The closest person that actually is going to be there is going to be Vanish, but Vanish is definitely going to have that frustration just because she lost that 1v1, knowing very well that she became a little bit too greedy in there. But there you go. Trade after trade, we finally get to see one person per team going down.
Yeah, Venus comes through with a big pick onto Brixta there. That's going to keep the advantage in their favor. They're 4-3 right now. Another big opportunity where they could possibly come through with a win. It has been a long, hard fought, but rotating on up. The 2 shorty shots, not enough. Vanish going to pick up another. It's now a 4 versus 2. Lydia gets smoked out, and why is the bomb so far back, Venus? Oh, this should have been a bomb plant right here for the side of Carnage, just to force them to play against time, force Aerith and Lydia to play in uncomfortable positions. But at least Vanish looking like she's gonna pick up a kill here. Finds Lydia.
Venus should not have overextended like that. Really easily could have gotten down, but it's a good thing that Aerith already, getting that 1 kill. Vanish goes down. Now this is very scary because Aerith is definitely a player that can still clutch us up, but then I'm pretty sure Carnage can definitely manage this. 3 people placed very well deep inside of the site. So Aerith is going to have a hard time. 33 seconds left on the clock. It's not very hard. It's not going to be easy for her, actually. But knowing the player, she might just get a clutch up. So the best that Carnage can do is just to hide their bodies, and they're doing that really quickly. So I think 1 sniper shot and 2 shorties is definitely going to be in. There you go. She misses that shot. That essential shot. Gets 1 more. She needs to get 2 more people there. Artemisa gets the corner. Knows where everyone is. Oh, a hit marker. Now that is just unfortunate. But we keep saying that it's definitely going to be very hard to clutch up. But then that was just scary to see.
Yeah, I don't know if she quite would have been able to clutch that one up, even if she didn't get the hit marker there. We had 1 more player that was tucked in the corner right at the doorway that Aerith was rotating past. That was about to be a couple shots in the back. So definitely a good round for Carnage there. Wish they would have been a little bit faster to capitalize on their play, but either way, they push up together as a 4. They stick together. They know the trades are in their favor at that point, and they come through with a round win. We've now switched sides. It does give an opportunity for NYX to play offense. It's going to give them a little bit of an opportunity to control the flow of the game on where you're sending players, but we have so many players like right on top of each other here in mid. It actually looks like Pichu is rotating over to B instead of challenging Kitchen, but Chagaboo pushes on up, looking for Ginebra, can't win the gunfight. That's now a 2-person lead for the side of Carnage.
Really good start from Carnage, and it's just really those early picks that they keep winning is going to be absolutely essential for them. Agaboo, though, tries to spot 1 player in Kitchen, doesn't quite get it. Picho yet again gets an Agaboo. Now that's going to be very hard. A 4v2 situation, and there we go! A 4v2 situation indeed is what we are going to see, and 1 more person is going to be going down. Agaboo, Vanish gets rid of him, and it's all up to 1 person. Bragaboo, Brixta, with 4 kills to her name, is going to be chased just slowly with that sniper. Oh, she's going to be pinched, and it's going to be very hard for her to actually go and clutch up.
Yeah, definitely can feel Pichu being pretty tilted right now. You run into another sniper, you get a hit marker, and they pull out a shotgun. And sometimes that's just the way it goes, especially in comp, but I know that blood boil moment where you're like, you should be dead. And unfortunately, it just doesn't work out. But they secure the round win anyway. It's now 4-2, still favor in NYX, but Carnage starting to come a little bit more alive. Lydia going to be the one to open with the first blood this time around, and that's a big opportunity. But Artemisa, with the environmental explosion, gets the kill onto Nagaboo. Oh, trades are just going back and forth right now.
Ah, both of these teams are popping off right now. Bragaboo only with a hit marker. That's going to be very unfortunate, but we see Vanish just going away, but Agaboo finally finishes the job, bringing things down into a 2v3. Still very doable, right? Just as I said, that Venus is going to be going down, only leaving Ginebra all by herself to clutch this up, but it's very doable. Gets 1 big kill. Lydia is going to be going down, but if you do have Agaboo and Bragaboo right in your mids, it's not going to be easy for you. We can see here, Ginebra is going to be a little bit quiet here in mid. Needs to get that 1 quick scope on, but then she does decide to go in for the backstab, and it's gonna be hard because she does have the bomb and it needs to go and get planted. 25 seconds left on the clock. It's not gonna be easy. Gets spotted. repositions herself, and there you go, finally gets one more kill, and Bragaboo is going to be going down, but it's going to be Aerith yet again, possibly for the clutch, and the bomb still needs to go implanted with 10 seconds left on the clock, but Aerith knows very well that she doesn't have enough time to go in for the plan, goes in for the fake, but there you go, Agaboo yet with a very precise snipe to end things with finally match point.
Yeah, it's definitely looking good for NYX right now. They have a lot of cushion opportunity where even if Carnage finds a round, the dominant force that has been NYX could come through and still pick one off. We do have Lydia rotating on through. Doesn't quite run into Artemisa, who is on the other side of that door. And as you can see, we actually have a really big A-side rotation coming out of the side of NYX. Nagaboo does get hit markered, but will survive to see another day. Ooh, Pichu misses a follow-up shot. That could be really big. Chagaboo gonna rotate up with that HD40, picks off one, challenges Ginebra on the head glitch, but there's two there. This is a rough one to challenge. Ooh, he's able to slide and get out. Might even be able to pick up Ginebra rotating kitchen.
We can see Nagaboo's actually just testing the waters, but unfortunately for her, it's a little bit too deep as Venus finally does the job of getting rid of her. Agaboo as well gets rid of Venus from both of these teams. 3v4 still doable right now for Carnage actually going clutch up. Defense is going to be very solid. They're reluctantly going into alpha, and that's what we like to see, a very careful team that doesn't really get to see a light of day but then vanish already with big kills. Oh, now just like that, it's going to be a 2v3 situation as Vanish is definitely going to be a key player for their team. So again, with the bomb finally going to be planted, there needs to be a solid because Agaboo can definitely go in for the clutch here. 15 kills already to her name. Really good sights right now from Artemisa. Now she's going to be in trouble. Miss her shots in spots. One misses it. Artemisa, you need to get this shot down. Finally wins the battle.
Yeah, great gunfight from Vanish there. Ooh, Brixta able to snap that shot onto Vanish. It's now going to be a 1 versus 1. I don't know if she knows that there was two there.
I'm pretty sure she wasn't really aware, but the pinch needs to ensue. 14 seconds left on the clock, and also it needs to be planted. It's going to be very difficult. They need to push. They need to push right now. They're giving away too many slots right now for her to actually go in for the snipe. When they know there's only how many seconds left on the clock, you're already very sure that she should be planting it right now. Bragaboo misses the shot, does get pinched, and there you go. That could have ended like the other way around. So again, very well-preserved teamwork here for the side of Carnage, just bringing things into a 5-3. Are they going to be the team that can finally bring a round 4 for against? So let's see.
It's looking possible right now, and I gotta say, that's a pretty big unfortunate moment for Brixta. Hits the quickscope on one of top of stairs. I thought she got the collateral at first, but it turns out she didn't even realize that there was two people there, and unfortunately sometimes when you limit your sights with a quickscope, that can just be what happens. Loss of a little bit of information there, but we do have players pushing up. Nagaboo gonna pick up one. Artemisa and Pichu, however, do get the refrags. Artemisa finds another. Aerith is one! Yo, Artemisa just popped off.
Yeah, Artemisa's just mad. She really wanted to win those clutches, but then wasn't able to. Bragaboo sees the sights, the laser sights, and possibility for get one more kill in a 2v2 situation already. Now this is going to be absolutely crazy. And like what we said, it's possible for Carnage to get another round. They just brought it into a 50-50 situation. So very heavily defending Bravo, sticking together as a team. Now that's going to be very impressive. They're all just prone. They don't want to get sniped because they know that Bragaboo and Nagaboo, if they miss, they only have one more chance to see the light of day. But then Bragaboo sees it, only destroys the trophy system, but then just like that, not gonna be quick enough, but Agaboo is gonna be evening things out yet again with the 1v1 situation. It's Ginebra. She has a very interesting place there, but then Prones! Why would you prone there? Oh, that was just a missed opportunity, and just like what history has repeated itself, it is going to be a 6-3. NYX just unstoppable, and even though they were a little bit shaky here in the search and destroy, it's just the individual gunfights. They always win, and honestly, it's just Aerith is just so amazing with that sniper.
Yeah, definitely a big game for NYX, but again, we saw a lot of that life that Carnage has brought to the table, and I gotta say, I'm impressed with what they were able to pull together here. Again, this is by far the hardest competition that you could have gone up against tonight. NYX is a team that you could throw these girls into a scrim with ARP, Tribe, NYSL Mayhem, Explicit, and they're going to take games off them, if not even pull full together wins out. So this is not a easy competition, and Aerith, what an absolute nut job, comes through with 18 kills on the board. Darn near pushing that 20 mark, but Vanish also great plays that game, came through with 12, clutched up a lot of rounds for Carnage there, and that was a fantastic series that we had.
Damn, it's just Agabu with 18 kills. That is just crazy. I mean, already getting that in ranked is going to be impressive, but going in here with a team that's also very talented is definitely very impressive. So again, very great effort for Carnage. We've seen a lot of bright spots for them, but unfortunately, in the individual gunfights, especially with Agabu just popping off every single time, winning those 1v1s, winning those 1v3s, that is just absolutely crazy. This player is definitely so talented, and not only that, everyone else in her team, Bragabu with her quick scopes as well, is definitely going to be very formidable. But for the side of Carnage, though, Vanish and Artemisa, and even though Artemisa kind of got into, she popped off at the very end, so which is unfortunate for her because she could have clutched up rounds that possibly would have made them win this search and destroy. And I say that because there are so many times where they could have won so many rounds because they would always have that woman advantage, but unfortunately for them, they just really couldn't handle it and they don't know what to do. There's always that reluctance, especially in that one round where there's two players with Aerith just left. For some reason, they didn't commit into alpha. They just stayed in poolside, and unfortunately for them, that was just the backside push going in there. So it's really just plays like those, hopefully, that they do, especially going into future tournaments and future games as well, that they need to go and kind of practice on.
Yeah, great game. I gotta say, that's a good one to start the day off with. You know, even though it was a 6-3 search win going over to NYX to close things out, we saw a lot of really good plays coming through from Carnage. They're definitely a team that I want to see more action from in the future. And they're in a position where I think we're going to. You know, as long as they maintain a top 6 spot, which by my calculations, it's not possible for them to lose top 6. So we'll see them on finals day. But we're going to take a short break, guys, as we get ready to get into our next game. So don't go anywhere. As soon as we get players in the lobby, we'll get you guys rolling. All right, guys. Thanks for the wait. I know it was a long one, but we appreciate you guys sticking around. We're getting ready to have our matchup, which at the end of things comes down to be one of the more important matches of tonight. We have the wonderful Beef Doggo over there for you guys.
Hi there. And honestly, like, I'm so excited for what I'm gonna see here, Truly versus Op34. And Op34 has the chance to qualify, and my little doggo wants to go and see what is gonna happen, because it's either Op34 or Carnage. I can actually go in there to really just go and fight till the very end. And Truly definitely had a bunch of difficulty in this competition here so far, but you know what? They're still going to be bringing us a very, very nice show. So hopefully we get to see an amazing start. Operation 34, though, they need to win every single map here so far, because if they don't, that means that's adios for them.
I think they can technically win a 2-0. I'll go ahead and throw this for everybody just so everybody can see where we're at and why I mentioned this to be the most important game. Is the top 6 will be moving, they'll be moving on to our finals. And as you can see down there at the bottom, Truly Girls hold that 6th place spot right now, but Op34 are only 5 points behind. So if Op34 pick up the 2-0 victory, they're obviously going to go up ahead of Truly. Even if they pick up the 2-1, they would go up to 30, and Truly Girls would only go up to 25. So they need to win this series here. Nyla obviously has forfeited tonight, so they don't have any opportunity to pick up points. And yeah, that brings us down to, again, one of the most important games of tonight. So I'm excited to get into it. We do have our map picks and bans available if you want to run through those.
So for our Hardpoint, we're going to be having our raid map. We've definitely seen a lot of games here so far. Search and Destroy Firing Range, the same, a very, very classic map. And it's going to be very interesting if we Nation in Crossfire yet again. We've seen this already before being played, so hopefully we get to see that, because I really, really want to see me some domination in Crossfire. Yes, a lot of people don't really like it, but Operation 34 actually bans the Sparrow and Hackney Yard as well. Truly bans Takeoff and the Annihilator, so kinetic armor definitely going to be used here. So, and Death Machine as well. Off right now and raid Hardpoint. Let's see what happens.
And as you guys can see, we are into the action. It's going to be a probably very aggressive map between these two teams. We have really, really star players on both sides. Largely going to be keeping an eye out for Wonderful and Storm on the side of Truly. And Op34 is largely, in my opinion, been ZME Baby and Marzitos as well. So we'll be keeping an eye out on a couple of them. It looks like Zia might be AFK right now. That could be... oh, they're back.
Yeah. For a second there, I was a little bit scared for them, but here we go. Finally, a very great start right now from Truly, getting a lot of these points, but the response is definitely equal for the side of Op. So Op34, they've been having a little bit of a hard time here in Raid, just because last week we actually got to see them go up against Carnage. For most of the part, but then at the very end in the last 2 kills, very questionable things actually happened, which resulted to them losing that 150 and 114. So hopefully that doesn't really get to happen here. But Op34 really just having a hard time getting a hard point, and we can see here Truly already having the points, but it's not going to be a very big lead, as we see here the rotation already coming in for the side of Op34.
Yeah, Op34 went ahead. They got themselves the jungle respawns for this P2, and this is a big opportunity for them to lock down some score. Not as big of a money hill as P3. Obviously, Garage is the one that everybody's really looking for, and we'll have to see what team is going to start making those rotations here shortly, as we're about halfway through this objective. So I almost think if you're Michiko, who had just spawned in Garage and there's only 20 seconds left on this hill, you might just want to hang back and anchor in for your team. Ends up picking one up mid, but could almost give up the spawns, and as you can see, they actually make a really good play here. You see Ashley and Michiko, they do turn around and start heading over to Garage. They get their trophy system set up, and that's going to give them a big opportunity to anchor those spawns and start getting ready for the money hill. Obviously, Basketball Court is another really good hill, but the spawns are so wacky over there that it's hard to call it money, you know?
Yeah, it's really hard to call it money. Maybe you can actually just call it play money, like Monopoly or something like that, but right? But then that's actually very interesting because we saw Truly went in for the rotation, but we can see the girls of Op34 already went in there for the contest as well. So if we see Zia Mbebe just popping off here like what we're seeing right now, 11 already to her name with the death machine as well, they can definitely flush out all of the players we see here from Truly. Just there you go, a big triple kill. Zia Mbebe already with 13 to her name, Predator missile already in the mids, and also a hunter killer drone. So she's pretty stacked right now. And even though we said yes as a hill and the rotation really came in early for they just couldn't win their gunfights. They stacked up together. The map awareness was just not there, not knowing there was only just one player that just killed that many players.
Yeah, and sometimes that's just the case, but if you look, Truly are playing this really smart. They're going ahead and they're going for next. Ashley's able to pick up one, but CMEBB comes through with a big double. Oh no, it's disaster! Storm and K spawn way far out. Oh, that's rough. Oh, and another Pred missile! Oh no!
And this is why you need to win your gunfights. It's because if you want to get into basketball court, you're going to be seeing all the score sheets really use. So, yeah, we see here Zia Mbebe already has that Predator missile and that Hunter Killer. But there you go! Finally gets that Fury kill already for her. The streaks are definitely going to be coming in. Refreshes the Hunter Killer and the Predator missile as well. X1 Goliath already for her 21, and we're only at our halfway point. And definitely P4 is going to be so hard to see here. That is a great utilization of the cluster strike, and we can see Truly is going to have a definite hard time going in there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and it's a massive lead coming in from the side of Op34 right now, who almost DQ'd because they weren't here on time, so it's a good thing they're coming through with a good performance, at least for their sake, and they do pick up a couple extra kills here. We're only about 20 points away from them picking up a win. It looks like they're going to get all of the 5 remaining ones here as well, so as we start rotating over to mid, this is going to be an important defense for the side of Truly. Michiko does pick up her 3rd kill of the game, but obviously struggling quite a bit behind. Getting her body onto the point, finds 4, can't quite win the fight against the Death Machine, but Ashy is there to back her up. And this is looking like a pretty decent hold for the side of Truly right now. They're actually picking up a lot of kills right here.
And CMEBB just couldn't really use that Death Machine very well. Wasn't really efficient enough with it, but a very strong hold from Truly, and we like to see that. But then just when I said that, it's going to be Op34 already in P5, with obviously the assistance of these very, very big X1 Goliath, and that's going to be very hard to go and contest. Knowing very well that a lot of these players actually have the shorty and don't have the FHJ to actually go and get rid of this Goliath, and just like that, we see here a very strong start, 150 and 59, and we already know that 34 is definitely so impressive here in Raid Hardpoint.
Yeah, great performance for the side of Op34. They come through with a big round 1 win, but it's not over. They need to find one more, whether it's the search and destroy or whether it's the domination. They have to win this series to make it to finals day. So there's a lot of opportunity ahead of them, but truly they've got just as much opportunity to come through and turn things around. And search and destroy might be a good opportunity. For them, you know, if Wonderful, who's been the main sniper for the side of Truly, is able to come through with some opening picks, maybe we can start to see a little bit of the tables even out. And as you guys can see on the scoreboard, it was largely in control of Op34 that game. Zia comes through with a 24-7. Desabis comes through with a 20-9 as well, going at triple and double positive there. Look over at the opposition, and while we had players come close to positive in the likes of K at 14-15, Storm at 15-18, the rest of the team definitely struggled down pretty far. You've got 7-18 for Wonderful and Ashy, and then Michiko comes through with the 5-16. So hopefully they'll be able to win a little bit more of their gunfights. Like I said, Wonderful being able to pick up a couple first bloods would be really, really huge for them, and it's all going to come down to this search and destroy.
You're absolutely right with Wonderful trying to go and pick off the first few bloods, right? That's the very important thing, is that if Wonderful does get the... We seen it already in our previous game with NYX against Carnage, that we saw the opening picks going against NYX. They always dropped one player, and it would always usually be Lydiax because of the connection, right? But we saw that Carnage wasn't able to take advantage of that situation. They would always be one person up, but it's really what you do with that. And it's really just playing for picks, yes, but you need to know what kind of play you're going to be doing afterwards, because just seems like they just rush. So for the side Truly, that should not be here. They should get those picks and reposition themselves and hopefully win those rounds. But with Op34, you already know they are absolutely crazy in S&D, so they're not gonna give Truly a very time.
Definitely a big opportunity, and we're getting into the game, guys. Should be an exciting one. We do have, again, a big opportunity for the side of Truly here. And it's going to rely on a couple opening picks, and they actually find 2 there. Paredes does get the first blood on Decay, but the 2-for-1 does go in favor of the side of Truly. And now, as you can see, Caro is rotating in through behind. The bomb is planted. This is excellent execution by the side of Truly here. And another kill comes through, and Checo finds that one, finds the second with the shorty. What a big play. Marzitos comes through in the back with 2, but Storm is there to slide the corner, finds another kill. And Truly actually opening up with a very good round win. That was great coordination on that early bomb plant.
Yeah, and Storm definitely was the player in that particular round, already getting that 2. Michiko as well, having that 2 at the very late game. So very great push so far, and they're not going to be definitely doing the same thing here as they push towards A. The aggressive push definitely caught Op34 off. We can see here they scramble going in through mid and finally rotations, and finally we get to see them going down just like that. Ashley gets a kill as well, and do we see here a 2v5? Nope, a 1v5 situation, and it's CMB Beba, the only person left for her team, and it's not gonna be easy for her to go and clutch this up, knowing very well how well these players have been operating here so far.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and it's now once again an issue where Op34 are in a 1 versus 3, fighting against the clock as the bomb is planted, and as Zia rotates on over, Wonderful is there and ready to clap, picks up the kill, and a second round in a row goes over to Truly. We might see a game 3 here if they keep this up.
Yeah, and a very great team effort from every single one of the players right now of Truly. It's like, this is a different team right now, and I really like to see that. They actually haven't won any maps here so far, and it's very possible for them to be, to actually do that right now, especially with the PP19 buys. You can a lot of these kills. The mag size is definitely going to be absolutely cracked here. So very great defense yet again. You see a 2-1-2 split right now for the side of Op34. They don't want to let go. And that was a really great passive play from the side of Truly, just because they've been rushing the first 2 rounds in A and Alpha. And we see here Op34 is prepared. So the fact that they're actually going to be pushing up and just a little bit more passive is definitely going to be very impressive. But with 1 person down, Wonderful, that's not going to be very easy for them.
Yeah, unfortunately for Wonderful there, I felt that shot was coming like clockwork as I was watching the mini-map. Paredes was up top with the DLQ in hand, and Wonderful rotates right into a bullet and does get dropped. And now a second kill going to come through as well as she finds Micheko. Oh, zooms out at the wrong moment, but Marzitos is there to find another kill of her own. It's now a 4 versus 2. It's the first time Op34 have been in control of this map.
It's usually just Truly with the passive approach that they couldn't really go and perform. It just seems like the aggressive approach is a little bit more on their favor. But here we go. The tides are slowly turning. Op34 knowing when to step, knowing their footing. The rhythm is finally going in their favor. But still, the rhythm is definitely going to be more in the favor right now of Truly, just because they are going to be planting that bomb. But the tides might just even change more when we see the switch happen. So a very aggressive push going into Bravo. So they do this because they know it worked out the first 2 times. So they do win 1 very big gunfight, but they do lose 1 more person going down. Storm takes out CMB Bebe, so it's going to be a 4v4 situation.
Yeah, definitely a interesting position to be in. Paredes comes through with another kill, finding a pretty clean snipe. She's been pretty solid so far this game. 4 kills on the board for her to lead all players, tied up with Marzitos and Storm. And we now have the 1-player advantage for the side of Op34. Oh, I hop over the gunfight a little bit late, but Kay's actually able to pick up 1 there before getting refragged out. Marzitos now has Ashy pinned down, now rotating on over to Storm, gets the pre-fire going. Gonna win that gunfight as well. Marzitos with 7 on the board. This lady looking unstoppable these past couple rounds.
Truly looking truly predictable at this point. They couldn't win their gunfights and they tried to go for the aggressive approach yet again, but Op34 just know what to respond to that. So they tried to go for A, but I think they read it pretty easily. The fact that there's one more person here. Finally, trade after trade, 4v4 situation, but then the Marcitos applying that pressure with that Holger 26. The perfect gun to do that, but then Wonderful with an amazing snipe. And it's gonna be man advantage right now for the side of Truly. If they really get to do this, the rotation needs to come through. 1 and 4, that's going to be Siami, Bebe, and Decebas that might have a very great job of actually doing that. And finally, just like that, we get to see the favor going into Op34.
I don't know if you caught it, but the Hail Mary grenade from Zia there, I think impacted Storm and then blew up in her face. That concussion then locked her down where she was able to pick up the kill. Sorry, I just was at a loss for words there as I was switching to see who to spectate, but that's going to be a third round in a row now going over to the side of Op34, and man, Truly started off looking so good. What happened?
Like what I said, they became a little bit too predictable, and when they couldn't really go in for the passive approach, they kept going for the aggression, and they just couldn't really handle the gunfights. And the response, the counterplay coming in for Op34, which is absolutely perfect. Knew that Alpha was going to be up again. They made in the rotation going into the back end, and that pinch from CM Bebe, and what you said, the grenade is absolutely amazing. Wonderful, a very great start, and that's what you want to do. And that was a really good snipe, but then they're going to be heavily defending Alpha, which is going to be good for them, but one person can actually make a difference. Who's actually going to be through mid right now? It's going to be De Paredes. That can actually go make a difference, but no, doesn't quite spot the two people at the very back end, and just like that, it's a 2v2 situation, but they need to go and stick together.
Yeah, Storm rotating in through the back, might be able to get a pinch here with K, but Jasabas is going to win the gunfight. Trade does come through for Storm. It's going to be a 1 versus 1. The bomb is planted. Zia has looked solid here today. 7 kills on the board. She's got a Holger. She's got a head glitch. She's got time on her side. 15 seconds to go. Might have given a little bit too much up, though.
Targets in sight.
Storm! You be prone like that. Again, we keep seeing it. A while ago in NYX and Raid, we saw one person actually just go prone. It's like probably one of the worst things that you can do because you're basically just a sitting duck. The better position would probably going into trailer, and the time was ticking. Should have just played for that precious time. But unfortunately, that just had to happen. And just like that, it's going to be a 4-2. One more round, and it's going to be match point already. If we don't see Truly change their strategies because they're just having such a hard time.
Yeah, Marzitos does come through with a kill onto K there. Finds a second onto Michiko as well. Let's go ahead and hop on over, see what this girl's at. 9 kills on the board for her. Helping carry Op34 to the win. Storm trying hard over here. 6 kills ready to go. It's a 3 versus 4 in Op34 favor. And it's not looking good for Truly. It's looking like Op34 might be able to pull together the 2-0 victory and secure their spot in the finals. 25 seconds on the board left of this round, and the 4v2 is just looking less and less possible as time goes on.
Been wonderful with a snipe, so that's going to be very good for them. They just need to get one more frag here, but 15 seconds, that's going to be very hard, and we can see here Wonderful already spotted Siami Bebe with 10, and we are going right now match point. And I wonder what's going on with these girls, like the type of, like, we always actually get to see Op34 and how they actually go and talk to each other and really just communicating, because their communication is actually really good, and that's why they've been like really having a great time. They're an upward trajectory where they keep winning a lot of the games here lately, so I'm interested to see how they're going to be really expecting their win here, because it's definitely going to be a big one. It's going to make them qualify for tomorrow, the next few days. So Wonderful yet again with a really big snipe, but then Decebas really has the response.
Yeah, 1-for-1 trade does come through. Ashley's able to find one, but K with a big rotation up top behind is able to secure the 2-for-1 trade there. Paredes does come through with a kill as well, is now pushing up, but might actually get a little bit trapped here. Oh, I missed the gunfight, but Marzitos absolutely cracked. 10 kills on the board, able to win that one. It's now a 2 versus 2. It's match point for the side of Op34.
Enemy contact.
And Truly, They're on the edge here. They could still make it happen. We saw 2 really good rounds out of them at the beginning. But it's definitely a position where they cannot afford to make any mistakes. Marzitos might be looking to make that B-side rotation. I think this is really, really smart.
Yeah, definitely a very smart rotation right now from Marzitos, having 10 kills already. The next person that actually has that kills as well is also her teammate Zia Mibebe, and it's just truly the next person that has a lot of kills is definitely going to be wonderful, and she's been struggling so far just because she's the only person in her team that can actually go and make a difference. And now the backside push going in here, not really going here. They're rotating so slow. Come on, you need to go in for the push, and yes, you have 30 seconds left on the clock, but you still have advantage. You stick together. You're going to be taking a lot of shots here going through mid, but if you are wonderful, yes, you can probably stay here and have one more person going into the backside. No, there you go. The rotation finally goes here in B long, but then there Marzitos already in a very cheeky spot.
Contact with enemy. Enemy contact.
Oh no! Just like that, as I thought that it was definitely going to be doable for her to go and clutch it up. Michiko just drops, and that information coming onto Marzitos was just a little bit too much. And finally, we're gonna be ending things here, 6-2, and finally Op34 find their footing, really just having that beautiful sweep to end matchup number 2. That was absolutely crazy, and for a time there, I thought Truly definitely would have a chance to actually win that, but then those 2 opening picks, those 2 wins, that just didn't really happen for them. They just dropped the ball. They became just a little bit too predictable here, Day.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wish... this causes me physical pain to say, but I wish Truly would pull out the shorty a little bit more, just because they had so much potential. There were so many 1v1s in that game where it's like, man, if you just had the shorty out, you probably win that trade. That last one right there is a pretty prime example. Machiko came through, had the AS Val in hand, almost won the gunfight against Paredes, who did come through with the drop shot there at the end. You have a shorty in hand, that's probably a clutched up round. Your team has another opportunity. So I hate the shorty. It pains me to say it, but the reality is it is strong in the meta and it is allowed. So I would have liked to see it there, but Op34 going to secure their spot in 6th place to go on to the finals, which will be on Thursday, or well, rather the quarterfinals and semifinals on Thursday. They've got some tough competition ahead of them, but we do have one more matchup for you guys tonight. Our next match is going to be one that is less important as far as standings really go, but it is very important for bragging rights. Right now we've got NYX and Honeybees in 1st and 2nd place. They're going to get the buys for the quarterfinals. They'll move right on to opposite ends of the semifinal brackets. You've got your bottom 6th locked in with Operation 34 coming through with 35 points. But in 3rd and 4th place, we have ARP, we have Explicit, and they are tied for that 3rd place spot. They can't go above 3rd, they can't go below 4th. They're right where they're going to be locked in at. It's just a matter of bragging rights at this point, and who are you going to play possibly in the semifinals on Thursday. So we're going to take a short break, guys. We'll get to it as soon as you can, and make sure you stick around because this is going to be one of the more exciting matches of the tournament.
cold at the touch, dead in the eyes, no signs of life no more. I put your love under the knife. Leave me to die here all alone. No signs of life no more, no. A crying dove may never fly. It's black and white. Yeah. Black and white. Oh. 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 It's black and white.
Alright guys, thanks for the wait. We are ready to go with ARP versus Explicit. Possibly going to be one of the most exciting matches of the night. A lot of bragging rights on the line for these teams, as well as the winner and loser determines who they'll be playing off against in the quarterfinals on Thursday. So, like I was mentioning earlier, both these teams are making it. There's no scenario where the loser here really suffers in any way, but I think these two teams are phenomenal teams, and hoping to see a game 3 here. This is a matchup deserving of a game 3.
Absolutely crazy. Yes, I was actually about to say that. It's like, you made such a great point. It's like, both of these teams, they don't have anything to worry about, but this is definitely going to be more like a show match to see who's better. And it's kind of like a window as to how they're going to be doing on Thursday, right? So that's going to be so great to actually see. I'm really excited to really just pull out all of the stats that they've had here so far. Teams, they've been so impressive. I mean, not because they're definitely in the 3 and 4, right? But they've done so much to actually get to this point, especially for me. Definitely for the side of Explicit, because we already know that Explicit kind of had a rough time just going in here at the very beginning, because obviously they were NYX, so that's definitely a banger of an opener to really just start at the competition, right? So we're going a little bit backwards in time, but it's important to see what happened in the past, to see where they are now in the present, and for them to actually just become so great as a team. Explicit can definitely win this one, but ARP is definitely not gonna let them do that.
Yeah, definitely, and we do have our map picks and bans ready to go, and I gotta say, this is an exciting lineup we have. We've got a Summit Hardpoint to start things off, a Firing Range Search and Destroy, and if we make it to that Game 3 that we are absolutely hoping to see, it's gonna be a Standoff Domination, a great trio map lineup there. ARP banned Crossfire, Explicit banned Hackney Yard, the Kinetic, and the Sparrow are banned, so we are going to see a lot of Death Machine and Annihilators available here tonight.
Yeah, definitely, and that's definitely going to change what is going to happen in this hard, but Summit definitely is going to be a very hard one, just because there's a lot of cards actually going high. You need control in the second floor, because 2F, you will get a hold of that power position and really just have access into both P1 and P2, but it seems like both of these teams don't really get a hold of that yet.
Yeah, Fatal comes through with a really big gunfight win there. MX9 in hand, a super strong gun in this meta. Finds kill number 4 before getting taken down by Kira, I believe it was there. DeBlur comes through with a double kill. Vodka, another one of those star players for this roster, able to pick one up, and neither one of these teams can get any sort of edge on this point. It's a 4-9 right now, and finally ARP get the slight break, if even only for 3 seconds. This is crazy.
Already with a very strong start, and that's because we keep saying 2F in control room, you need to get a hold of that, and Jules was there for such a long time, really just going in for the defense. But we can see here, they're actually struggling with the gunfights. We can see just blue ARP all across the board, and we already have one player, Kira, already positioning herself into P2. So That's going to be very good for them. And yes, they didn't really get a lot of time in P1. You can see here, 22 and 13. They were able to get a lot of these points already. Not only that, but also the early rotation here.
Yeah, and I actually kind of disagree with the rotation that ARP have, or I mean, sorry, Explicit have made a little bit here. They had a really big opportunity where they had 3 players pushing through mid, climb up through into window, instead of sending anybody back to potentially look for that spawn flip and get ready for P4, but somehow they are able to pull it together. As you can see here, Vodka is spawning a backside. And if they're able to get the spawns here, they could be in a brilliant position for P3. They've got themselves P2 control going back. As you can see, Fatal and Vodka are falling back to continue to anchor and stop any rotations coming through. ARP get their time back on P2 a little bit, but this is a big setup right now for the side of Explicit. I don't know why Vodka challenged that, but I guess she also didn't know that there was going to be 3 people there.
And you see here the rotation actually coming through from, oh what? Just like that, we actually saw Explicit really just being flushed out of P3. And even though they went in there for the rotation very early on and the spawns were in their favor, you can see here it's going to bite them right in the butt as we see ARP already spawning here as well. It's definitely going to be absolute chaos. And finally we see ARP unfortunately spawning off at the very opposite end of the map, and we see very in P3, and we can see that Explicit is going to be able to actually go and utilize that Jules though with a very solid hold, usually being that Slayer with the Holger. That's going to be very impressive for her, getting a lot of kills already. Annihilator already on standby.
Yeah, Annihilator's Death Machine starting to rain on in. We've seen obviously the gravity spikes come through for a couple kills already, and man, the fight over this hardpoint right now is absolutely nuts. But with Kira and Adri spawning out, I'd like to see them set up for P4. It does look like they are going to eventually go for that. We had Mass stick around, who has 16 kills on the board, looking to maintain that trickle time, finds another kill, gets herself a hunter killer and her grab spikes ready, and even makes it out alive to boot. Runs into Vodka, does eventually drop there, but still just caused so much disruption in the Explicit spawn there.
Yeah, and we saw early rotation already from both of these teams. 2 players already from ARP already positioned the Jules. Oh, the only person that went there early, couldn't really wait for her team, and didn't really wait there, really just charged in, guns a-blazing, and unfortunately with a Holger, that's not going to be very easy just because of how slow the ADS speed is. So that could have been a really big win for her, but then if she just stood back, stood still, and waited for her team to go in for the rotation, maybe they could have gotten an earlier
and Carla.
take here, but...
Oh, they all spawned out!
Oh, DeBlur and Carla! Oh, shoot! There you go! And finally, we get to see the break coming in right now for the side of Explicit.
Yeah, that was a giant fight over those spawns, and I actually... This is what I hate about this map. I thought ARP still had those spawns there, and then they just started spawning out of nowhere. Their players were anchored way further back than the side of Explicit, but Explicit somehow pull it through anyway. And as you can see, we do have a couple players from ARP already starting to rotate on over and get ready for mid. Fatal turns around, picks up the straggler of DeBlur there. This is a 20-point game between these two teams right now. Any given one of these points could really turn things around. Vodka comes through with a big kill there, but it's Adri able to immediately bounce back with a double kill of her own, making a 3-piece as she finds Jules, finds an assist on the 4th as well. Big plays for ARP right now.
Yeah, ARP, I think I know they are pretty equal in terms of gun skill, but I think it's the gun choices that kind of fall short here for Explicit. You see 3 players sporting a Holger 26 at a very small map. And yes, you are going to be having that in a really key situations, but if you have 3 players going up against people who have the AS Val, the MX9, who have very fast fire rate and also really fast ADS speed, will definitely outgun you in those close quarters combat. But we're finally seeing a turnaround here in P1, and finally Vodka getting a lot of these kills, 23 already. Predator missile, sentry gun, and a cluster strike already to her name. Ready to just use that, and here we go, gets 1 big kill.
Kira comes through with 1, but gets turned on by Veda there with the equalizers. It's a 14-point game between these two teams on P2 in the 2nd rotation. Carla pushing up, finds kill 19. Adri on a 5 spree. How did I not even see that going on? Finds 6 as well. What on earth?
Hardpoint contested.
Adri 4 combo already has a very big shot at actually going to get more kills right now, but then does get fragged out. And there you go, the cluster strike right now, finally getting a lot of these shots. Not only that, they're able to actually go and utilize all of their score streaks, but not for too long though. They still lose their gunfight somehow, even though the cluster strike was actually there going in for their assist.
Yeah, right now we do actually have ARP still maintaining at P3 spawns. This is a good opportunity for them. They've only got 12 points to go, so even if they don't win it on this P2, they still could come through with next. But the pick up on Veda there is huge. Only 5 seconds to go. Explicit can't get enough bodies on to contest. 2 points to go. Carla turns on 1. They do manage to save the game, but again, look at the setup that we have for ARP here. Shy of a miracle. I don't think anything can save Explicit right now.
And just like that, with any chances of them actually going in there, the cluster strike absolutely denies that. And very amazing start here. And for a time, they were just tied up through and through. But I really think it's the choices of those guns from Explicit that was their downfall. 3 Holgers going up against an AS Val. MX9 for ARP, so that is not going to be the gun choices that you would really want here in Summit. So I think that is probably one of the reasons why we see such an amazing win here for ARP and DeBlur being that top fragger, the MVP. So much kills already, 31 to her, but just right below her, Vodka has 28. So like what I said, they're winning their gunfights, yes, but it's those essential moments where they couldn't really go in there really aggressively just because the gun choices that they had, they couldn't go in there for the aggression.
Yeah, and DeBlur was crazy for the side of ARP that game, 31 and 18. But one of the big ones to make note of here that we don't see often is Mass really played that last body on point a lot, which usually results in you dying a lot. Still ended up going positive there at 21 and 18. 145 on the board. So great objective play from Mass. Had a really big impact there. Adri as well, 28 and 18 is absolutely nothing to scoff at. And this is not an easy team to beat in the likes of Explicit either. Vodka, Fatal, Veda, Jules will be big in the Search and Destroy for sure. Definitely struggled in the Hardpoint here at 11 and 22, but she has been cracked in Search and Destroy. So I'm definitely looking forward to that next matchup.
Absolutely, and a lot of these players are just so talented already, and DeBlur definitely going to be that respawn player for her team, but we have other people in our mid as well. That can absolutely just pop off, not only in the respawns, but also Search and Destroy as well, and like what you mentioned, Jules, going to be an absolutely key player for Explicit in Search and Destroy. And now we are going to be taking things into a different kind of... You kind of have to slow it down. And we already saw that Explicit can definitely put kills on the board through and through, but it's not going to be easy. Firing range is going to be here for our Search and Destroy, so that is here for them. So they need to be precise, especially with Jules getting those opening picks and really knowing what to do once you do get those picks. So with this one, what do you think? What do you expect? How many rounds do you think we're going to go through?
I hope it's a round 11 clutch for Explicit that pushes us into a game 3. And I think that's a very possible scenario. Again, we mentioned right at the beginning that these two teams are very even. And I think that Hardpoint really expressed that quite a bit. Even though ARP were able to come through with a couple big holds at the end there, a large amount of that game was back and forth. We went into that second of T2 at a 14-point game on Summit. Typically speaking, when you have Summit games, someone has taken a pretty big lead on P3 and P4 where they're winning their gunfights and holding those spawns, but it was a constant flip, and DeBlur keeping up the aggression, slides the corner, and finds one of the strongest players of Explicit for our first blood.
Vodka, and Vodka is definitely going to be a player that frags out the most for Explicit, but with her going to be a complete different story. But with that in mind, Explicit needs to find a way to push as a team and really go and rotate, because playing this passively is not going to make him work out. We see here very solid holds from both teams, but ARP is already getting the Blur, already getting 2. Heaven goes down, and that's just so unfortunate because the information should have been already there that the Blur going to be in trailer, just having such stronghold, and that is just definitely unfortunate to see. And we are right now at a 4v2 situation as Jules gets finally Kira.
Finds the Blur with a follow-up quickscope. Now pushing up towards the bomb, has a really good head glitch here, especially with a sniper in hand. Might be able to catch Adri peeking the corner, but Adri actually is going to start rotating on over towards wood. The bomb plant does come through. It's a 2 versus 3. Explicit do not have lives in their favor, but let's go ahead and hop on over to Fatal, who might catch Mass rotating around the back here. Gonna pick up one all of a sudden. It's a 2 versus 2. Jules gets a hit marker. Oh no!
Feels bad, and that's just so unfortunate to see, and Fatal goes down, and the round is going to be going into the favor of ARP right now. Now, that was a really good push for both of these teams, so I can't definitely give some comments to any of them because they played just so well. And for Explicit, that was just unfortunate. You know, it happened. It is what it is. With Jules, should have had that kill. But especially with a man advantage for ARP, that's definitely going to be very hard to clutch up, and especially with Shorty having only 2 shots. That is just feels bad. But here we go, another aggressive push going into Alpha yet again, but then it's going to be heavily stacked with 3 players from ARP.
Enemy contact.
Yeah, Veda does come through with 1. Kira is going to find a snipe onto Heaven. It's a big opportunity as the bomb plant does go down for Fatal. It's going to force ARP to fight against the clock. Vodka comes through with a kill onto Adri there. That's a really big pick, as Adri again was popping off pretty hard in that last game. As you see, Veda in the back might be able to catch Carla here. Carla...
Oh, nope. We were just looking at nope, that is not going to happen. Veda does go down to 3-0 already. And a very strong start from both these teams, really just even a 1 and a 1. A very beautiful response here from Explicit, knowing very well that if they go and rush into the site, they will be able to get it. And unfortunately for ARP, they weren't able to actually go and utilize that very heavy defense that they had in Alpha, but it seems like they wanted to go for a 3 split yet again, but they are going to be leaving Bravo alone again. A very aggressive push going into Alpha.
Yeah, a couple big kills come through for Adri and the Blur. It's going to give the 2-pick advantage going over to the side of ARP. The bomb plant still comes out of Explicit.
Oh no!
Get down!
Heaven gets
Oh,
picked.
that was unfortunate.
Adri finds another. It's going to leave Jules in a 1 versus 5. Not going to happen. Another round goes over in favor of ARP. And
that was just too fast. That was
yeah,
just
it
too
was
fast.
real
What
fast.
just happened? I was just having my sights on Jules. I don't know what Jules was there. You don't need any sort of cover for you, especially be that sniper. You already know going to be definitely a hot spot for 2 or more players actually going right. So a very questionable push. They should not have been a little bit aggressive there, and they probably should have another type of play here that definitely going to be a little bit more passive this time. Again, very solid defense, 2-3 split from ARP. They really like to play that kind of split, and one more person going in for the side of ARP to really just push through mid, tries to see sites, and so far they haven't really gotten to see each other quite yet.
yeah, definitely a rough position for both of these 2 teams to be in. Again, this isn't actually for any important placement as far as like the loser here doesn't not make it into finals like the matchup we had earlier, but 2 very even teams who have been tied through this whole entire event going to come through and have an opportunity to pick up some bragging rights over one another. Do have the Blur pushing on up, but Vodka able to get the pick. That might be the opening that the side of Explicit need. Might be able to find another. Looks away at the last second. Could have possibly picked Kira out of the window there, but Adri does get a refrag. Jules and Heaven each picking up a kill. It's going to leave Carla and Mass, who are buddied up here along the backside of Jungle to try to clutch up a 2 versus 4 with the bomb planted. Not an easy feat. Vodka's going to pick up another. And another.
4 and he just loses. I was like, okay, that is not gonna happen. Very strong side. You know, it's just they just keep taking turns with their rounds right now, and like what you said, it's very likely that we are gonna be seeing a round 11 over here, just because of how well these teams are in search and destroy. So very aggressive push going into Bravo, and 2 people already here. So going to give that information to them once they do it, and the rotation from ARP once they do find out. And Veda already with a really big kill gets rid of Mass, but then Carla with the response, and we see a very fast rotation coming into ARP, and that's what I like to see.
Bomb spotted.
Jules going to come through with an assist there. To Blur picks up a key pick onto Veda. It's going to bring things back in a 2 versus 2 in what was a explicit favor. The really aggressive push not quite working out, but Vodka able to get the pick. I definitely think Adri was able to call out Bomb down there. You saw her looking at it for a hot minute. So DeBlur knows what's going on and what's to come. It's just a matter of making that push and finding the kills. The bomb plant is going down right now for Jules. And I gotta say, if you're DeBlur and you're going up against Jules and Vodka, possibly the 2 best players on the side of Explicit, at least in my opinion, able to pick up one big opportunity.
Oh, there you go. Atta girl, Vodka, and finally gets the kill. And I actually thought that DeBlur was able to go and clutch that up. But if it was going to be a play that can do that, DeBlur can definitely be that person for you. Already 6 to her name. And now that the bomb is finally going to be going into the side of ARP right now, they have the tides. And they can finally go into the driver's seat and really dictate what is going to happen here. Very interesting pick going here. But then DeBlur over push it. Doesn't quite commit there. And finally, just like that, just like flies, the bomb is going to be going down. A 2v3 situation. Still very doable for the side of ARP.
Yeah, Vodka gonna pick up one on the back. Carla can't quite turn around in time. Vodka is absolutely on a tear right now. If Bobby was here, this would be the Holger flow state, but definitely looking to be good for Explicit. Like we mentioned, this is possibly one of the most deserving series all season long of a Game 3, and it's looking right now like we're gonna get it. Carla pushes on up. Heaven gonna win the better half of that gun trade, but it's Vodka coming through with a big refrag for the team. My keybinds are freaking out, but we've got Mass still sitting on a donut, but does pick up Fatal there. Got a breadstick now, Olive Garden breadstick going. Vodka rotating behind.
Olive Garden, yep. Absolutely. You can see here, it's like Carla, unfortunately, went in through there so aggressively, in through mid with the bomb, and that just will change the rotation for everyone else for your team to try go and pick that up. And unfortunately for her, she's the only person left here. The rest of Explicit is going to be in trailer. She does not know that though. She knows probably at least one player is going to be there, but if she can actually go and do this, she needs to try to go and push. 1 minute left, so I feel like she should not have gone in here. There you go, just like that. Goes down, and to be match point 5 and 2, and it's looking very much like we are gonna have a domination round.
Yeah, you're definitely right there. I was hoping this game was going to be a little bit closer. I mean, of course, not in a biased way, but I was absolutely rooting for Explicit here. I wanted this game 3. Looks like we're going to see it, but I was hoping to see a little bit more fight out of ARP along the way. I knew that Explicit had what it takes to pick up the win here, but didn't realize it was going to be so convincing, I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah. Oh, laser sights already seen in trailer, so Kira already knows that someone's going to be there. Gets that information that one person will be in trailer at the very least, so the fact that they can rotate into Bravo is going to be very key, but spots one person over here. But finally, Mass gets that kill. Already at a very interesting spot, but no, Fatal gets to have a kill. Audrey as well. So it's trade after trade for both of these teams, and we are still in an even spot where we can see a rotation. Very interesting rotation, but Adri is going to able to be getting that one more kill. It is a 2v2 situation, and Jules with a very big kill already. Just like that, Explicit wins that search and destroy matchup with such convincing fashion, without a doubt, no questions asked. Every single one of their plays was just absolutely crazy, and it was just at the very end. ARP just had such a hard time just really winning those individual gunfights here, Day.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and again, I was really expecting Explicit to win the Search and Destroy. Their Search and Destroy has been one of their best game modes all season long. Jules and Vodka are absolutely cracked in Search, and Vodka comes through with a incredible game here. 13 kills on the board. Wasn't able to find one in that last round, but largely carried the team through the game. If you look at the rest, I mean, Veda, not a bad player, but 4 kills on the board. Fatal, not a bad player, 4 on the board. Heaven, not a bad player, 5 on the board. Vodka, 13. Had as many kills as 3 of her teammates combined. Look over at the opposition of ARP, and Adri, again, right out of the hard point where she was popping off here in its search as well with 8 kills on the board. But Kira and Mass struggling a bit here today. Mass actually had a really good hard point, so I'm surprised to see her come into the search and destroy and struggle the way she did. And Kira, as you mentioned, was one of those players that in the first week was like about to drop a nuke on stream and just not having the greatest day here. But maybe we can see it turn around in domination. Of course, I was cheering Explicit on through that last game because I wanted to see that game 3. Now, it doesn't matter to me. I just want the best team to come through and earn it, just for those bragging rights, as we mentioned. But I gotta say, I'm pretty excited for it.
Same here. And with Explicit, we've already seen them actually go and play standoff already in domination. Have that advantage of already knowing this map, already playing it against Carnage. So they did win that though, so that's going to be a very important key thing. And right now for ARP, they have a massive pressure on their shoulders to actually go and deliver here in domination. And you know what, yes, like we keep saying, this is definitely going to be a show match compared to the other squads that we've seen here so far, but again, Explicit has the upper hand, and ARP has the massive job to actually go and overcome that, knowing very well that Explicit has won this map already in this particular game mode. So we don't know how they're going to perform here, but seeing that Hardpoint matchup in Summit, they're definitely a very good respawn team, and Explicit will have a hard time.
Yeah, definitely going to be a rough one, but we're getting into the game, guys. It's domination, our first night. One of the few that we've seen, actually. So, definitely one of the more deserving matches of a Game 3, in my opinion. We'll have to see if Adri is going to be as cracked as she was in the last game. Does have a player rotating on behind her now. Heaven's going to pick up that kill with a really good rotation. We do have a little bit of beat progress, but it is not going to stick as Jules does come through with the kill. Keeping her eye out on that B flag. Picks up another as well. However, on the opposition, Adri picks up another. Kira finds Veda. It's now Jules and Adri in a gunfight, and Adri dips looking for a better angle.
Jules, already big kills, 3 to her name, and you always would want to have her as your teammate just because of how well of an anchor she is. She did actually so well while in Hardpoint, but unfortunately, everyone else in her team also struggled for a bit. You can see Jules always going in there for the anchoring spots, the power positions over here. Tractor, there you go. Doesn't quite get the kills though, but then did enough damage for her to actually flush out all the players in Bravo. So still a very commendable thing, especially you're going to be spawning off of that weak side. So Explicit might want to go in there for that switcheroo that we really like to see here, because Alpha is definitely going to be that more favorable side. But here we go, Jules yet again in that power position here in tank and statue, getting one more person. So yeah, you need to get rid of Jules if you are going to be ARB.
Yeah, Heaven coming through the big refrag there. It's going to be a little bit of progress once again going over on a B to Explicit, but not going to be enough to lock it down. And DeBlur picks up 2 MX9 in hand. Jules picking up a double of her own. Neither team can find the lockdown on this B flag. Explicit are so very close though. Can they pull it together on this one? They do get it, but they lose 2. DeBlur with a beautiful literal frag comes through and picks that one up.
Quite a little frag that we'd like to see. That double frag is going to be absolutely beautiful, and I'm pretty surprised that they don't really lay down that trophy system, surprisingly. So again, I feel like the Explicit, you need to use your utilities very well, because something that we didn't really get to see a while point was for them, all their stuns, their nades, and their trophy system. So they need to do the same thing here. As fast as they actually were able to get Bravo, ARP just took it quickly as well, but a very strong start from both of these teams, and they're evening things up.
Hey, DeBlur coming through with some really big kills right now on a 3 streak. Has the Death Machine available, as well as has some bakery control going. Picks up one onto Vodka, gonna toss out the Hunter Killer drone, likely gonna end up in a free kill. Actually picks up a... oh no, it was just a continuation of another kill. Unfortunately, I thought it was a double. Adri comes through with a big double kill, however, and ARP have themselves a 6-point lead. They have themselves control of B, and they're looking to go into the second half with a lead, and they definitely need it, because like you mentioned, A side is certainly the strong side for standoff here in COD Mobile, and you're going to be giving that over to Explicit, also playing really well all day.
And you can see Explicit already giving so much damage already, even though they actually spawned off to the weaker side. But then Carla with a really big 3-piece stops that Bravo push and just goes in there for the cleanup. That is just so hard to see. Feels bad type of situation. And then there you go. They just stop it. But you can see here 68 and 53. That is not going to be a massive lead, knowing very well that Explicit did so well in the weaker side. But then they're going to be spawning off really, really soon here into Alpha.
Yeah, Veda comes through with a big kill there, trying to push on up and get some progress on B, but not enough time on the board. The 19-point lead going to be in favor of ARP going into the second half, but now we have a control start for the side of Explicit. They're not limited to how many points they can pick up in the second half, so they're not going to be limited to that 75 margin, and there's a big opportunity where they could make a comeback. We've got a lot of utility coming in towards L here, but can't quite get it. Or Cubby, sorry. But do you have a lot of B progress coming through? This could be an early B cap for ARP. They've got three-quarters progress.
That's true. Just like that, and they are spawning off into the weaker side. They need to have a little bit more presence here in Bravo for the side of Explicit, and it's the fact that they don't have any presence in top blue, and Jules was supposed to be that person. I actually expected her to be there positioned already, but she decided to actually go into Cubby instead, and unfortunately for them it didn't really quite work out. As you can see, Cubby is not going to be a place where you're going to be winning a lot of these gunfights here.
Oh my
with a really
goodness.
Big triple.
Four-piece.
Really want to do the 4-piece, exactly.
Ends up getting the assist on Vodka as well. She's full on streak. She's got a pred. She's got a sentry. She's got another hunter killer ready to go. 16 kills on the board. The B flag was picked up by ARP, and what was supposed to be a good position for Explicit to be in has quickly fallen apart as we are starting to approach triple cap territory. B progress is coming through for Veda, who picks up one before dying, but does get taken down by Carla.
Very surprising to me because Explicit is not taking advantage of that A spawn. You have so many power positions where you can actually go and get. They don't have top blue, like what I keep saying. They don't even have Granny for. That's just so hard to see. One player though is going to be capping it all by herself, but then Adri just deletes her just like that. Fatal already doing a very interesting job here, applying that pressure into Charlie, but you shouldn't really go for Charlie if you can't even cap B. You need to just choose a side. Just choose a side, because we see two players going to Charlie, one player going to Bravo, and you can see how easy it is for them to actually go in for the delete. It just takes one pred miss out to just get rid of everyone here. And just like that, see, it doesn't really matter. They keep going in for Charlie, but that's not going to be the best thing to do, just because you know that the girls of ARP are just right beside you.
Well, they need the triple cap at this point. We're actually pretty deep into triple cap territory right now. We have Kira pushing for the A flip, and right now, with only 18 points to go, it is looking like it's going to be ARP walking away with the win, with the bragging rights here in this game 3. Kira finds a couple shots onto Vodka. The hunter killer ends up coming through and finishes it off. Jules gets the B cap, but the AC still in favor of ARP. The Goliath for De Blur. I didn't even notice it, holding down the C flag as long as possible. And at this point, it's not really going to matter. The triple cap comes in for ARP, and ARP are going to win the last match of the night. What a series between these two teams. Explicit, I don't know what happened, but you put up such a big fight during that first half. What happened in the second half? You had the side advantage.
Exactly, that's what I keep saying. It's like they kept trying to fight for Alpha, and they did a better job being in Charlie rather than when they had the stronger side, which is Alpha. And the biggest thing that I kept mentioning is that they did not have control in top blue. I would actually expect Jules to stay there with the Holger to really just apply that pressure in Bravo, but no, they didn't even get top Granny as well. So you don't have these power positions. Instead, you would rather go and rotate, try to capture Charlie for some reason, and eventually going in for that triple cap. That is just unfortunate to see. And Explicit just couldn't really get a hold, couldn't really get that map control at the very end.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that's so unfortunate to see. And as you can see, we had one player of Explicit skip the kill cam, so we won't have the stats on them, and I didn't catch it before they left. But definitely a exciting game there. I actually meant to open the scoreboard and I messed up, so I do apologize for that. So we'll hopefully have some for you guys on Thursday. Thank you everybody for coming around. Explicit versus ARP was as good as we could have expected it to be. I would have liked to see a little bit more on the aggression side from Explicit in the second half of that domination. They had all of the opportunity to make that a very, very close game, but they do drop, and that is going to give ARP the 15 points. Explicit pick up 5, and that's going to have ARP be in third place, so I'll have to see where that puts them in the standings, which I do believe we have available here. Yep, 90 points for ARP, 80 points for Explicit, so hopefully we'll get to see where that determines them in the the brackets. Not updated yet. Unfortunate. Anyway, it has been an absolute pleasure, Beef Mommy, to be working with you. You're a phenomenal talent. I hope to get to work with you guys more in the future. Guys, we've got sad news. Today is the last day for Beef Mommy here for Mobile Mayhem Girls. Make sure you give her a lot of love and appreciation.
I am so right now. I mean, everything just went fast. It just feels like I just started casting for you guys here in Mobile Mayhem, and what can I say? Everything just went in here so perfectly. I know we've had a lot of shuffles in terms of the teams, but definitely one of the best performances that I've seen here. And I'm not even saying that because y'all are women, biased towards women, but regardless of your gender, we've seen phenomenal plays. And not only that, casting with you Day here is definitely such honor just because of how new I am as a caster. So it's definitely going to be a great experience, a great learning experience as a caster, but also as a new person here coming into the United States of America. As you guys know, I am usually based in the Philippines in Garina, so that really gives me a unique opportunity to get every single perspective from you guys here. So again, thank you. Start crying and sobbing in front of you guys. I'm a today. Thank you so much for having me.
You're off camera right now. You're off camera
okay,
right
good,
now.
good. Because I'm already.
Yeah, definitely been a pleasure to work with you guys. Make sure you go follow. It's at Beef Mum on Twitter, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
and also in Instagram.
Also on Instagram. Make sure you guys go give her a follow. Make sure you guys are on the lookout for events that she's casting. We're definitely cheering on Beef Mom for stage 5. Would be a fantastic casting talent to have. So hopefully Activision, if you're listening, you pick up that great talent. But that's going to be it for us here tonight, guys. Thank you so much for coming by. Tomorrow we're going to have the rest of the Dream Team event. You guys don't want to miss that. Those are going to be some really, really spicy, exciting matchups. And then, of course, we'll be back on Thursday for the finals day of Mobile Mayhem Girls. I'm not sure who the co-caster is going to be that day, but we'll make sure we get you a good one for that. And then I think in a couple weeks we have the main season of Mobile Mayhem starting back up again. So we'll get you guys some exciting action here in the near future. Thank you to the admins. Thank you to the players. Thank you to all of the spectators that came by today. We're going to go ahead and get you guys rated on over to somebody, and we'll see you next time.